It's time to be brutally honest. There's a problem, a MacBook problem. Not with the product itself, but with the endless cycle of choosing one, doubting that choice, then switching again. If you're someone who's caught between multiple Apple laptops, wondering which one fits you best, you're not alone. This video might just save you from making a costly mistake, one I made myself. Let's rewind for a second. I woke up one morning recently, looked at my desk and saw 3 MacBooks staring back at me. A 15-inch M4 MacBook Air, a 13-inch M4 MacBook Air, and a 14-inch M3 Max MacBook Pro. That's a problem in itself, owning all 3. But the real issue wasn't the clutter, it was the confusion. I had to pick one. Not just for the sake of sanity, but because it made no sense to continue switching between them. And that's when it hit me. I had made a mistake, a very real, very expensive one. And this video is for anyone who's close to making the same mistake. Now, I know videos like this can feel repetitive. I picked the wrong thing. It's become a trend on YouTube. But here's the thing. I'm not saying this for views. I'm saying it because it's true. I made the wrong choice, and I know there are thousands of others who are just as lost trying to decide between the MacBook Air and MacBook Pro, and between the 13-inch, 14-inch, and 15-inch models. Let's dive into it. The setup: 3 laptops. One problem here is what I had in front of me. First, the 15-inch M4 MacBook Air. That one was mine. It was my daily driver. Then, a 13-inch M4 MacBook Air on loan from Apple. Not mine, but I had it for comparison. And finally, my 14-inch MacBook Pro with the M3 Max chip. That machine cost a small fortune when I bought it, and it was supposed to be the powerhouse that could handle anything. But reality told a different story. I wasn't doing anything heavy on these machines. No video editing, no 3D rendering, just Slack, emails, notes, writing basic stuff. That's all. And that's where the problem started. I was dragging around this powerful MacBook Pro, using it like a Chromebook, and then I looked at what others were doing. A moment of clarity. In Brooklyn, not long ago, I went on a trip to Brooklyn. It was for Samsung's Unpacked event, the kind where a bunch of tech YouTubers, journalists, and content creators come together for hands-on time with the latest gadgets. And while the focus was on foldable phones, something else caught my eye. It was the laptops. Everyone brought a MacBook, of course, but not the ones I expected. Years ago, we would have all been carrying MacBook Pros, thick, heavy, all-powerful machines. But this time, everyone, Pete, Daniel, a few others, they all had MacBook Airs, light, slim, and small ones, the 13-inch versions. And there I was with my expensive MacBook Pro, barely using its power, carrying extra weight, taking up more space. That's when it hit me. I had made the wrong choice, not just with the MacBook Pro. Even if I had brought the MacBook Air instead, it would have still been the big one, the 15-inch model. And that's not exactly compact. It's huge compared to the 13-inch Air. I had fallen into the trap that many people do. I chose bigger, thinking it was better. But I never stopped to ask myself the right questions, the questions that matter. Question 1. Do you really need a big screen? Most of us instinctively say yes. A bigger screen sounds better, more space, easier multitasking, better for video editing, design, development, you name it. But here's the truth. Most people don't need that much screen real estate. I remember, years ago when I bought the 16-inch MacBook Pro, I told myself I needed the biggest display possible for editing videos, but after a while I got tired of carrying it around. So, I downsized to a 14-inch model, and guess what? I didn't miss the extra screen. Same story with the MacBook Air. The 15-inch looks great on a desk. It's lovely for home use, but in practice, it's massive, heavy, bulky. Even opening it up in a coffee shop feels like overkill. The Air, on the other hand, strikes the perfect balance. Big enough to get real work done, but light and compact enough to carry around everywhere. Unless you're a developer, or working in audio production where large screens help you manage multiple tracks and plugins. The big display isn't giving you a real advantage, it's just extra weight. Question 2. How often do you leave the house? If your answer is rarely, then you might get away with a big MacBook, maybe. But here's the thing, MacBooks are designed to be portable, and they're so good at it. The battery life is incredible, the build is light, the performance is great, even in the small models. So, no matter what your intention is when buying one, eventually it's going to leave the house. You'll take it to a cafe, or on a trip, or just out to the garden to work. It won't sit on your desk forever. That's just how MacBooks are. They invite mobility. And that means portability matters a lot. The moment you start carrying your laptop regularly, you'll regret buying a bulky machine. The size, the weight, the awkwardness of pulling out a massive device in a cramped space. It all starts to add up. So, even if your plan is to use it mostly at home, you should plan for portability, because once you get a MacBook, you'll want to take it places. Question 3. Where will you use it? Let's go a bit deeper. Where exactly are you going to use your MacBook? Is it just the kitchen table, your home office, a co-working space, a train, a hotel room? If the answer is anywhere other than only my living room, then again, smaller is better. I had this vision in my head: wake up, grab coffee, sit down at the big 15-inch MacBook Air, work from home, and move on. But that wasn't the reality. Even at home, I found myself wanting to move rooms, sit at a different desk, work from the sofa, and lugging the big 15-inch MacBook Air from room to room felt unnecessary. Even worse when I actually had to take it outside. It barely fit in some of my bags. It was heavier than it needed to be and the benefit minimal. That's when I realized I had been thinking about laptops the wrong way. If you want a big screen at home, buy a Mac Mini and a proper monitor. If you're buying a laptop, it's going to move. That's the whole point. Portability matters. The specs trap. Bigger doesn't mean better. Here's something you need to understand, and it's where Apple gets a lot of people. If you're comparing the 13-inch and 15-inch M4 MacBook Air, the specs are identical. Same chip, same memory, same storage options, even the battery life. Basically the same. There is no real performance advantage in going with the 15-inch model. It's just physically larger, that's it. The extra screen real estate doesn't come with more power under the hood. And that's a crucial detail. So, if you're thinking I'll get the bigger one so it performs better, stop right there. That logic does apply to the MacBook Pro lineup, where the 16-inch model can be spec'd out more heavily. But with the MacBook Air, you're getting the same machine in two sizes, nothing more so unless you just want a bigger screen for the sake of it. There's no technical reason to go bigger. The inevitable conclusion after months of trying all three models, after countless hours of working on all of them, I finally came to a conclusion. The 13-inch M4 MacBook Air is the best laptop Apple has ever made. That might sound dramatic, but I mean it. For most people, it hits the sweet spot. Power, portability, price, it gets everything right. Sure, if you need insane performance, the M3 Max MacBook Pro is unbeatable, but you have to really need it, and very few people do. The 15-inch Air, it's beautiful, but too big for most real use. That leaves the 13-inch M4 Air. Lightweight, affordable, blazing fast, and perfect for 90% of users. It's hard to beat. So, if you're stuck between choices, ask yourself these three questions. Do I really need a massive screen? Will I actually carry this thing around? Where will I really use it? Answer honestly and you might realize what I did. That small is better. That power doesn't always mean size. And that the best MacBook for most people is the one that fits in your bag, works on the go, and costs the least. This was a mistake I had to live through, but hopefully you don't have to.